You know what your job is? Your job is to text me if we're on YouTube now because I don't want to be there, and you do. On YouTube, somebody text me.
Thank you for calling Call-In Studios host and call screener line.
All right.
Please enter your show or meeting number and press pound.
Papalata chiki pooparoo paparoo hapala paparoo papari tapalu kachapi palaparoo papara.
Enter your 6-digit PIN number.
Lickety papara lo, a, me.
Welcome, host. You are now in the host room and can manage your callers from the call-in studio web interface.
He peli kaparu, paparu, paparu, hapalare kapachi, papara, papara. How is everybody, man? All right, there's only one thing missing, and that I am a man of a certain age, and over the years, I've been able to suck some of my mass into the belly in front of me, and I've never really kind of been semi-athletic most of my life, and I still work out and stuff and do that kind of thing. But somehow I sucked some of the mass of my body from my belly down, from my butt up to my belly. So when I sit on these chairs, you know, my butt just doesn't have any padding. Now, I just got a text from my buddy Matt Brozovic who said, yes, you're on YouTube, and I got... You know, I asked you guys to text me, so 7 of you are watching at least. I don't know if anybody. Now, Brozovic, no offense, buddy, but you've never had that problem. You and Dave Heeman can sit anywhere you want, and I cannot. But anyways, all right, so now I'm all set up here. And did you guys see the article in the Times? I just, you know, Joe Pete calls me, and he's asking me all these questions, and I'm trying to, I'm the worst interview because I don't, I'm married to a lawyer. Look, I'm all tangled up. What the heck? So hold on a second. Literally. Anyways, Pete calls me, and I am, I'm pretty short, married to a lawyer. Do you guys ever get anything really sensitive texted to you from me? No, or emailed? No, because I've learned, how to kind of watch your words. And, but finally, he's like, we're like kind of friends, I guess, or at least know each other pretty well. And he's like, well, how do you really feel? And I go, Joe, I can't tell you how excited I am to be coming back home. And that's what he used in the article, and that's good enough for me. But anyways, let's take a look at what's traffic going on. 294 around the city looks pretty good. 80 going east and west. That looks pretty good. I actually got on a Borman this morning at 5:15, and it was pretty wide open. People drive so fast, though, so... I don't know what's wrong with you. Why you got to drive 85 like my little brother? My little brother's one of those guys. I'm driving with him, and he's going down I-65, and he's coming up people on the left lane and flashing his lights. I'm like, come on, you're embarrassing me, man. This is ridiculous. Come on, they shouldn't be in the left lane. Oh, but anyways, Bishop Ford into the Dan Ryan, Skyway Toll Road, Borman, I-65. Now, that's not the little brother that's listening to me right now in his little truck out at BP. That little brother is a quote union steward, and he doesn't think it's very funny, but I kind of do a little bit, I say, how many water jugs did you change today? He's like, I used to climb on stuff and swing a hammer and stuff, and now he changes the water jugs. And come on, anybody that's a union steward sitting in your truck listening right now, I'm making fun of you too. But anyways, I don't know what I was talking about. Traffic's wide open. Let's take a look at what's happening with weather. It's such a warm morning out. I'm looking all over for this kind of lightweight jacket that I have, and I couldn't find it. And as soon as I walk in the studio, there it is. Oh, yeah, I forgot it here yesterday. It's 42 degrees right now at the Strack and Van Til in Highland. It is 41 at 41. Now, that just holds a lot of tradition. There's just so much tradition all around here. I was walking in, and I'm like, I told these guys, don't put one of those little rolling carts. They didn't know where to put it, so they put it in Preacher's office for now. And I'm like, Preacher's not going to want that there. Are you kidding me? I did find an old little train set. Remember Big George used to give away a train set on his Christmas show or whatever, and someone didn't pick it up, I guess. And I put it in Preacher's office. I hope he's okay with that. But anyways, a thick cloud cover turning breezy this afternoon with periods of rain. Kind of rain overnight. You'll get some thunder and stuff. And a little rain in the morning. So a high of 58 later today. Jeez, it's like warm out. And 50 tomorrow. And then it kind of cools off again over the weekend. But do you really care? I mean, are you really going to go outside over the weekend? I mean, you're just not trained for it right now. Saturday, rainy and a high of 38. Saturday, one of the biggest football games in a long time around here. And I got to tell you, one place that is fun to watch a Bears game. And if you want, you can put one of his sausages in your mouth. Now, what are you talking about, huh?
Are you sausage curious?
Who's ready for Polish?
Big Frank Sausage has the very best Polish food in the region.
You had a mouthful of Big Frank sausage?
We have a full bar, dine-in, carry-out, delivery, and catering available.
I've had a mouthful of Big Frank sausage.
I've got a mouthful of Big Frank sausage.
219-378-9556. Smacznego i na zdrowie.
Who's ready for Polish?
St. Nicholas Byzantine Catholic Church, located at 8103 Columbia Avenue in Munster, celebrates Divine Liturgy every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. We are Eastern Rite Catholics in union with the Pope, the Bishop of Rome. All Catholics who celebrate Divine Liturgy or Mass with us fulfill their Holy Day and Sunday obligations as they do in their own churches. Join us in person this coming Sunday to find out the beauty of a Byzantine Catholic Divine Liturgy at St. Nicholas Church.
But it's time. Listen, you gotta catch up. Yeah. I'll catch up with you. I'll be right back. I'll see you in a
As
minute.
drink responsibly. Drink responsibly from Calumet Breweries.
Oh, yeah.
Very sad.
Hey, come on, let's go. Come in.
No cars in the parking lot. Everybody's Ubering home. That's what that spot is. It's supposed to remind you of that. It's made for TV, but I play it on the radio anyways.
Are you searching for a college where you belong? Calumet College of St. Joseph wants to know you and give you the support you need to succeed. Are you worried about how you'll pay for your degree? 95% of our students receive financial aid, including scholarships and grants. Need some extra help with your classes? You'll benefit from our small class sizes, free tutoring, internship planning, faculty mentors, and so much more. Come experience our accepting, supportive college family for yourself. Schedule your campus visit and apply at ccsj.edu.
All right. Pretty good. Pretty neat. All right. Pretty good. Pretty neat. All right. I'm Jim Dedelow. I'm the host of the morning show here on WJJB. And it is an honor to be with you. No major traffic, as you well know, and no major turmoil in the world. Nah, I'm sorry. I'm just kidding with that. There's plenty of major turmoil in the world. And I don't even know where I's supposed to start. You know what I mean? What would you like me to start with, huh? I think that we could start with a phone call at 219-845-1100, and then I'll get to all of the sordid details of the world. So let me see if this works.
Hello.
Hello, are you on the air?
Yes, I am, and you're also on the air, and you're doing a great job at your new location, at being back home, I should say.
Where are you?
Yeah, let me just say this morning, and like I say, I'm a very issue-oriented person. I don't get caught up into this thing. This situation I've seen in when it killed this lady in the car in Minnesota. And I heard a couple of people say, well, I hope this don't be a George Floyd thing. Well, I certainly hope it wouldn't be a George Floyd thing. George Floyd was put on as a bad person, and that guy put his knee on his neck. He tried to kill him. He had him restrained, and I have, let me just say, I as a African American, I see some stuff happening, and I try to be sure. Yeah, there's some bad guys in all races. Okay, there's some bad guys, but nobody deserves to be killed. Nobody deserves to be, when you knock on the wrong door and you tell a woman, you got the wrong one. And Donald Trump comes out and say, hey, these are patriot people. These just patriots. I'm saying I'm upset about this. People say, are you going to be running for office? I'm not running for office this year. I'd rather be an advocate for the people standing up for justice in America. I see all these across America. What's right now? I'm a student of Dr. Martin Luther King, nonviolent, okay? And what I'm seeing right now, when the president come out without even saying anything about this lady that was killed yesterday, and say, well, she tried to run over, and so ICE is going into these places, and they're just doing, they're not doing a good job because Donald Trump is saying they are bad people. So am I wrong for wanting to speak out publicly and nationally about these things? I can't see. Sometimes people, they got a guy in Chicago. His name is he's a priest. He's talking about violence in the community of Chicago, and I applaud him. What's his name? Father Flager, I believe.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, Father Flager. Okay, I try to be right on what I'm saying, because you know they're going to jump on me when I get off this radio, but I don't care. And I'm just simply saying that if you happen to be my friend, and I have a lot of white friends who believe, Ron, when you talk about this, you're not being a racist. You're reacting to racism, and I will continue to do that. I think the president needs to tone it down a little, and he needs to say before they even get a report on this thing, he's already saying this lady she wasn't obeying the law. Maybe she tried to flee, but did she deserve to be killed? I don't know how. I don't know why, and I don't care how one might feel, or they may disagree with me. But I'm just simply saying it is time for black people and white people to let's face it. If you got some bad apples, and Donald Trump often say that these are some bad guys. I had never heard him say one guy. What about that guy at McDonald's in Chicago? They shot him in the back 16 times. When are we going to come together and say, hey, look, that's bad? But again, if Donald Trump says this, and I have to say it's Donald Trump because right now the insurrection and everything points toward Donald Trump. That's what, because he told them that there was an election was stolen from him. So they went and tried to overthrow the government. And Vice President of the United States, Mike Pence, tried to be hanged. So something is wrong with that picture, Jed. Something is wrong with that picture. And I have made myself that I'm going to be out here going around the country and wherever my voice could be heard. And I've been already invited to places and saying right now. So they say, well, so the latest little thing that came, they said, well, I wish this thing don't be like George Floyd was. Well, are they saying what happened to George Floyd was right? Absolutely not. They had his knee on his neck. The man said, I can't breathe. I'm hollering for my mama. I can't breathe. Was he a bad guy? I don't know that. And I don't think that Donald Trump knows whether he's a bad guy or not. But I bet, was he given a pardon to this guy, that put his knee on his neck? I just want to ask that question. I know he doesn't pardon everybody else. He didn't care. Do you know anything about that?
I have never heard that. So I have never heard that he was. All right. Hey, Ron, I need to get to that story.
If he gives this guy a pardon, that's going to cause disturbance. And so don't blame it on the mayor of Minnesota. I know what he said about this latest incident. He said, let's have calm. He didn't say, let's go out to these policemen. Let's be calm. And that's what we have to do, Jed.
Hey, listen, hey, Ron, slow down.
These are bad people.
All right, man. Thank you. I got to move on. Thank you. I'm gonna hit that story right now.
Okay.
All right, thanks a lot. So, Ron gets right to the freaking middle of that, and that is that Well, here, what's the first story about this comes up? Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem defended an ICE agent after he fatally shot a woman in Minneapolis, saying she had tried to run over the officer. State and local officials disputed that claim that the shooting was done in self-defense. 3 videos of the shooting show nuance, and exactly what took place before the shooting remains unclear. The woman was identified as 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, a mother of 3 who had recently moved to Minnesota. Governor Tim Walz said he has been, quote, warning for weeks that ICE operation in his state were a threat to public safety. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey disputed the DHS account and told agents to get the fire truck out of Minneapolis. President Donald Trump called the fatal shooting a vicious situation, also saying that Good appeared to run over the ICE agent. I think it's horrible. If I remember correctly, I saw that he said somewhere that it was domestic terrorism, but that's not in the article. So this is what you wake up to on a Thursday morning. Awful video, and we're still building this, so I actually can't show you video yet of that. I'm sure you've seen it already, and I don't know. Are you a new caller? Call me, 219-845-1100. If you're like, man, I want to say something, but I'm not that person, call me. I don't care. But anyways, 219-845-1100. You know, I started watching this last night before bed, and I have not slept well. You know what I mean? Because I think that, like a lot of Americans, we're like, hey, you know, it's just a matter of time, you know? It's just a matter of time before this kind of thing happens. Now, there is certainly truth, as we discussed here over and over on the airwaves, that we can't let in 10 million people and just let them walk across the border and come on in. That just doesn't work. And that is what happened under President Joe Biden. I get that. But we're a year into it now. What are we going to do? And the idea of masked men and women running into homes with guns and pulling people out, I guess, you're kind of like, well, if they're criminals, I guess that's where we find it. But is that really what's happening anymore? We got to reach numbers, and I just wonder if there's a way to evaluate this, not as a Democrat, not as a Republican, but as a human being. A creature made by God. You know what I mean? I've watched it last night, and I watched that Minneapolis mayor, and he's like, get the F out of Minneapolis. And then he's like, already they're trying to spin it as self-defense and domestic terrorism. And then the other, then you change the channel, and it's like, oh, all these left-wing people, they're just crazy. And, eventually, yeah, some of them are going to get shot. And I don't even know what country we live in, you know what I mean? It's kind of why I wanted to move back here to 6405 Olcott. We spent our time 11 years at Purdue. We did what we were supposed to do. We built a company that does a lot of good for a lot of people by streaming high school and college games and tournaments and connecting local businesses with those games, and it's running. Now I need to come back here and go back on radio, and there is perhaps not a better time to do so. Colby, when he ran this, used to talk about our duty to the region, and I guess I took it seriously over time. I guess there's some young people that believe in it too, I think, and then there's some that just laugh at it, I guess. But in the end, we're at a point in our country that it just keeps getting uglier. You know what I mean? And I don't know what we're supposed to do with that. Let's see if you do. Let's take a couple phone calls. 219-845-1100. Now, I got to be honest with you. I know that it's hard for you to hear me, so our top story tonight is an ICE agent killing of a woman in Minneapolis. So
stop yelling at me. I can hear you fine.
All right, sorry.
Good morning, Mr. Dedelow. How are you?
Sorry. You could probably hear me down the Borman and right to your house. What's happening, man?
Just watching a little YouTube and listening to your callers and just contemplating what's going on in life right now. How about you?
What branch of the service were you in?
I was an Army MP.
So you're an Army MP. And one of the things that I was looking at this thing last night, and I kept watching this video over and over. And then eventually they started talking on it, and, like at Fox at like 12:30 in the morning. But I was wondering, I'm like, all right, you go into the military, you do your tour, and you come out. There's a lot, maybe not as many options as you'd like. A lot of people go directly into ICE because, it's just a nice path. And then I'm wondering, like, is the training you get in the military applicable to going into people's homes like they're doing, or directing traffic on the street, or being an ICE agent? What say you?
Well, first off, those aren't military individuals. Those aren't military personnel going into people's houses. Those are federal agents, much like an FBI agent, much like an ATF agent. Those are ICE agents. They're not military. So my training is not anything. If I went into a home, it was because, I was an MP, so we actually did have to make some, calls occasionally. I remember arresting a couple of officers' kids and confiscating their marijuana for their own protection. So it's totally different. But I will say one thing that's the same. If someone's coming at me with a deadly weapon, which a multi-ton vehicle is a deadly weapon, I'm going to defend myself, Jim, and I don't care what Ron Matlock has to say about it. I'm going to shoot the bitch.
So, two things in there. One is, I wanted to get to, like, your training would portal well to being an ICE agent because you were MP. You've been trained. And I just wondered how trained soldiers are, and many of them, thousands, are coming into ICE. And I wonder about the training.
Well, the way a soldier works is you kill the other soldier before they kill you. So she was absolutely wrong in what she was doing. She defied all those officers' demands to get out of the vehicle, to turn off the engine, and she did not comply. Let me give you a comparison. A justified shooting, according to every mainstream media, Ashley Babbitt on January 6th. Ron Matlock likes to bring up January 6th all the time. Perfectly justified shooting, right? The young lady, Ashley Babbitt, a former military person, what did she do? She popped her head up, looked through a window into the congressional chamber, and Officer Byrd shot her in the neck, and she bled out. Completely justified by everyone, right? So this woman had a multi-ton vehicle poised to strike an officer. She totally got what she deserved.
Kristi Noem comes out and defends the ICE agent, saying she had tried to run over the officer. The mayor of Minneapolis calls out and says that he says, get the fire truck out of Minneapolis. He said, I knew that they were going to try to couch this as self-defense, and I want to get ahead of it.
The mayor and Governor Walz are jumping up and down with joy that this crisis has come up, because it takes away from their incompetency and their fraud. This is just a distraction from what the real story should be, is investigating their scams.
Hey, man, I miss hearing your voice, and it's good to hear from you. Thanks a lot. Talk to you. And they're every once in a while when it gets a little bit harried, you need an attorney to settle things down. Let me see if I can call one right now. Hey, Nicole! Nicole! Get Nicole!
Life's biggest challenges don't come with a warning. When legal issues arise, whether it's a car accident, personal injury, criminal charge, or representing you before municipal boards, you need a trusted advocate on your side. At Westland & Bennett, we listen first because your story matters. We provide strategic, personalized legal solutions to protect your rights, your freedom, and your future. Peace of mind starts with a conversation. Call 219-440-7550 today for a free consultation.
It's the simplest expression. The smallest thing that changes everything. A smile. So easy. A smile lights it up. Apologizes. And welcomes unconditionally. Because the shortest distance between two people is a smile.
Thank you.
Strachan Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
For over 100 years, Roofers Local 26 has been keeping Northwest Indiana dry and safe. Since 1919, our highly trained members have built a reputation for skills, safety, and reliability. With a 4-year apprenticeship and certifications in OSHA safety, first aid, and CPR, we deliver quality you can trust. When you need roofing done right, choose Roofers Local 26, protecting what matters most for over a century. For more information, visit www.roofers26.com.
Hele and Mara Lara Maranieshki. Hey, do you want to become a plumber? We are accepting applications for our apprenticeship program. And all you got to do is go to, Plumbers210, or I think it's PLU210.org. And better yet, I would just email Shana, Shana, at PLU210.org, and say, hey, you know what? I want to think about becoming a plumber. I know a lot of people that I thought were going to college that are thinking of going into the trades. And a lot of times, you automatically, like my little brother and all my cousins and aunts and nephews and all that stuff, they're all putting on their belts right now, or have their belts, except for my brother just changed 3 water jugs. But they're going out to their union carpenter's job. But there's a lot of other trades that offer some major opportunity. And Plumbers 210, I get out there and I hang out with Shana and Sal Espino, quietly one of the funniest guys in all of the building trades. And think about becoming a plumber. Right now, go Shana at PLU210.org and get your application. Let's take a look at traffic. 294 around the city is looking great. 80 going east and west has had a little bit of an accident going right at the split there to 294. I don't know if that's going to start backing things up or if it's just a minor fender bender. Bishop Ford into the Dan Ryan is starting to get built a little bit. You'll see some red lights and a garbage dump on the backside of the steel bridge, but you're kind of used to that. Skyway, Toll Road, Borman, I-65, they're all moved along well. I will tell you this, it was pretty slick. I went and did my favorite thing in the morning before I come to this 102-year-old radio station is I stopped at Munster Donut and got a coffee. And so I drive over there, and then I get my coffee and smile. Hey, I'm going to my old radio station, which I can't wait to get there. But anyways, then I got on the Borman, and the Borman was slick, man. And I'm like, wow, this, I got a nice tires and got the SUV, and I'm like, oh, you just feel when it's just slick. So watch it out there. High of 58 today, a thick cloud cover, turning breezy this afternoon. Right now it is 41 at Labor's 41, and it is 43 degrees at Salaspino and Shayna's Place out in Maryville, right over there by Trade Winds, and it is 42 degrees where Ronnie Ware's been sitting at his desk for a little while, out at Ironworkers 395. I always feel bad when I bring up Ronnie Ware because he and I worked at Wicker Park in the 1970s, maybe the early 80s. No, it was late 70s. And I was such a fire trucking bad person. A bully, and I don't know how we still remain friends, but I'm going out to Ironworkers 395 tomorrow morning, and I'm just going to go there mainly because I have this turtleneck that the Ironworkers give you, and it's just so perfect, and it fits your neck, and when it's cold, and mine got all stretched out, and I need a new turtleneck, so I'm going to go see those guys. All right, let's look at this, what we have going on here. There's plenty of stuff. We're going to talk about Minneapolis. I want to hit a couple of things. One of them in the Times front page, nice story there. There's me sitting in my studio, and for more than a decade, WJOB host weaves stories, interviewed guests, and regaled commuters and other listeners while cars and trucks passed by on Indianapolis Boulevard outside the windows of the studio. WJOB, the 102-year-old radio station known as the voice of the region, just moved out of its longtime home in the Purdue University Northwest Commercialization and Manufacturing Excellence Center, where it's been headquartered for the last 11 years. It returned to the studio at 6405 Olcott Avenue near the former Woodmar Mall it had occupied for decades. The radio station was able to work with Purdue University Northwest students to build up the Heartland Sports Network and podcast network at its Indianapolis Boulevard studio. Now it's moving 7 blocks north to return to its roots. Owner and host Jed said, "We're going back to doing radio the way we have been doing it for 102 years. We had been focusing on the sports network, but we'll turn our attention back to radio. The Heartland Sports Network, a separate company that broadcasts high school games mostly, is now remote and is looking for an office somewhere in Highland, Cherville, or Munster." So there's the beginning of that article. Good job by Joseph Pete. He does an amazing job. He has a number of books out. And if you love the region, then you already have one of those on your coffee table in your front room. The front room. Don't forget about the front room. If you guys are watching on YouTube right now, Rick Kubik came in yesterday, and he adjusted the lighting. And if you don't like the lighting, just email him directly. But I said, Rick, this isn't working. I mean, these studios are a work in progress, and overnight we are putting in a brand new studio in an open area out here in the old newsroom. So just have some patience. And Tom Waslinski just couldn't get it off his mind. Oh my God! Hey, dude. we couldn't move before because we needed all the equipment. So we're working, around the clock. At least the WJOB people are. The Heartland Sports Network, they got a whole bunch of games. What a great finish to the Bishop Knoll game. Was that last night or the night before? I saw it on Facebook, and they put some highlights out, and just the beauty of high school basketball and girls and boys basketball and wrestling right now and swimming. It's a beautiful thing going on, and all you got to do every night is go to heartlandsportsnet.com or download the app, please. It might still be under Jed TV, under a number of your services, but we're slowly bringing it over. And if you search for Heartland and you can't find it, and if you search for Jed TV and you can, just download Jed TV and it'll switch over once Roku and Amazon. They take about 2 to 3 months to change the name, and they want all this documentation, so it's taken a little bit of a while. Really, a number of other things happening around the Calumet region, and one of those is that Frank Mervan filed for his 4th term representing Northwest Indiana in Congress, and according to the Times, Mervan filed paperwork at the Indiana Secretary of State's office Wednesday to compete for the Democratic nomination in our 1st district here. He said his roles as members of the House Appropriations Committee and vice chair of the Congressional Steel Caucus have helped secure for region communities and educational institutions and nonprofit organizations numerous federal investments. As families and seniors continue to face rising costs, Mervan said, I remain focused on lowering health care expenses, reducing energy bills, and making everyday necessities like groceries more affordable, while holding the federal government accountable and ensuring taxpayer dollars are spent wisely and transparently. Also, another kind of somewhat surprising filing was a non-filing by Dave Ham. Dave, what are you doing? You've been there, since 2012 or so? That's only 13 years on the Lake County Council. You do not deserve a break today. But he's taking it anyway, and you know who he's endorsing? He's endorsing, guess who? Come on. I want you to think of a name in your head that Dave Ham might kind of be pushing, I guess, huh? Well, maybe, I don't know. I don't know if he is officially endorsing, but I know that they're kind of close. Oh, yeah, here it is. At least one member of the Lake County Council won't be running for re-election this year. Councilman David Ham confirmed he's planning to bow out after nearly a half-century serving Hoosiers as a Hammond police officer, then a firefighter, then the fire chief, and then the city councilman, and then finally for, I think, the last 14 years he's been on the county council. It wasn't a difficult decision, said Ham, who turns 70 later this year. I think it's time for somebody else to take over. Ham is backing Scott Miller, chief of staff for Hammond Mayor Tom McDermott Jr. Miller is the former superintendent of the school city of Hammond, and he has been very active as the kind of in the political world as McDermott's chief of staff. Scott Miller understands county government, respects the taxpayers, and has the judgment needed to serve effectively on the county council. Miller said his experience leading large organizations has prepared him to oversee the more than $200 million in annual spending managed by the 7-member county council. I'm running as a Democrat because I believe county government should offer quality of life improvements to our residents and provide a safe and secure community. Let's take a couple phone calls. Hele and Maranata Hapa Husky and Fapa Maranataha. Hello, you're on the air. You're on the air. You're on the air. Hele Parahaska. Hey, is Jed there? Hello. Is Jed there? You're on the air, man. Okay.
Yes,
Can you hear me?
What I'm hearing is on the airplay, I'm getting your podcast.
All right. Well, hold on a second. Testing. Martians are here. Well, you're right there. I mean, I'm on the air.
Okay.
Yeah. So that means you.
I was getting your podcast in the background. That's why I was listening to you.
Yeah. So you could. Yeah, you could listen to my podcast. But right now you're live.
Now.
What's going on?
Well, listening to you earlier when you were laying out everything, what's happening over. And it's progressively getting worse. We're losing our humanity, I'll say. I'm hearkening back to the day when I sat down in a chair and I went before a review board after some training and was asked some questions. And one of them was, and it kind of hit me hard, can you take a life? And I wasn't quite ready for it at the time, but I went through it and basically... I expounded as best I could at that time, but then it hit me again when I was out in the street with an FTO, and he said there will come a time when maybe if you stick with this long enough, you may become judge, jury, and executioner. And that really hit me hard. However, what I'm seeing now is before any of this is litigated or looked at correctly, just like going back to all these other insane incidents that never should have happened, people don't need to come out within minutes and say and give them their spin, no matter which side it is. And this Christie Nome, as far as I'm concerned, they could have gotten somebody way better in there that has some kind of a law enforcement or some law background. That is a big mismatch, and it's going to blow up in their face, and it does every day. And just what happened yesterday shows it perfectly, because for her to come out there and state all those, what she stated as fact before everything was brought out correctly is wrong. So I just don't understand some of these people.
What don't you understand?
Well, they spew their venom and spew their side of things before getting all the facts. And if anyone has another opinion, they're this, they're that, they're called names. And we keep forgetting, too, not only are we're losing our humanity, without another voice of reason or any kind of other voice, we don't have a democracy. We just can't have one voice.
Well, I don't know what you're saying. Look at that situation yesterday in Minneapolis. What's your take on it?
It's very unfortunate. It spun out of control, and I like I said, I can't make a determination. That's way above my pay grade. That's going to be looked at correctly and broken down, and the facts will come out. I haven't seen enough to make a determination. It looked like that lady was in obviously the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong people, and it spun out of control. And I was taught de-escalation. What I'm seeing a lot of going on out there is not de-escalation.
What do you mean?
It's just what I said. You can't continually take things to another level. And that's when things go out of control. And every situation like that, by having those people, a lot of those people, and everybody, both sides, look at it, the way some of those people are conducting themselves out there, they are not trained correctly. The way they are handling people, they are not shooting pepper balls in priests' eyes and then laughing about it. They are not trained correctly.
All right, man. Hey, thanks for the phone call. Thank you. Talk to you. Hey, been down on the misty mountain. I have come to the human highway.
Good morning.
How can people be so unkind? Hey, what's up?
Good morning.
Man? How are you?
Yeah, hey, good morning to the new old 102-year-old WJOB studio. If I'm on Bargain Bonanza, I had to put a new floor lamp together because my old one wore out and it's not working. I could drop it off a studio that's not the one that's not working, and Kubiak could come in and fix it and give you more lighting. But now that you're in the old studio, but it's new, the new old
Hold on a
studio,
second. Stop right
is
there.
Bargain Bonanza going to come back?
Stop right. Hold on a second. Do you not like the lighting? Do you not like the lighting? Kubik came in here, and I told him I wanted that. You ever watch his show on Fridays from his house?
Yeah, but nice. Yeah, the lighting's good because when you lean back and put your foot on the table, I can see that the bottoms of the soles of your shoes are not dirty.
Exactly. My wife makes me wipe the bottom of my shoes. But anyways, so here's the thing. I told him I wanted that like warm, kind of dark lighting. I mean, it's, in the morning when I'm here. And he came in here and we went over to Menards and we bought different bulbs and we tried a bunch of different things. So if you're making fun of the lighting, you're making fun of 2 or 3 hours of work we did yesterday. You realize that, right?
No, it looks good. You know what? You're getting your feet wet. Pretty soon you'll get out of that puddle and everything will be looking hunky-dory. But now, can I talk about the American flag? And can you listen to me a second? I'll behave. You don't have to unplug me or anything. But can I talk about the American flag?
Yes.
Okay. When I was raised and born in Gary, and when I was at Bailey School for 2 years, I raised and lowered the flag, the American flag. I properly raised it, lowered it, never let it touch the ground. When it wore out, the principal, the first time that we had to do it, I folded the flag up, and they had the ROTC come from Lew Wallace High School, come over, pick up the flag, and disposed of the American flag the proper way. They took it like to an incinerator and burned it properly to remove and get rid of that worn-out American flag. Now, yesterday up in Minneapolis, I saw a part of a video that a person stood in the middle of the intersection and burned an American flag. Now, okay, what I'm thinking about that situation there is, okay, there was law enforcement people and proper legal people there that, I don't know if it's legal that they can burn our American flag on American ground. But now, if there's a protest in this area and they're protesting from about another other country, can I stand at that corner of that protest and burn their flag and not get in trouble?
What a great question. All right. You asked the question. Hold on a second. You asked the question.
The thing with Minnesota going on is so stupid. Okay? Stupid. But I'm so upset because that American flag is our country, and that American flag represents our military veterans and everything. And I make sure I respected the flag for 2 years. I raised and lowered that flag. I was never in the service, but I'll be one that I support. Every time I raised and lowered that flag, I thought of our servicemen and our country is protecting our freedom.
Good point. Thank you so much, and we'll be right back. Now, this first spot goes out to my brother and my many relatives that are also union stewards. And I just wonder what the tally is of how many water jugs you have changed this morning already.
For over 140 years, the Central Midwest Carpenters have built our communities in Northwest Indiana. Are you ready to join the effort? We have long-term work, competitive pay, and the best benefits in the industry. We pride ourselves on innovative training and commitment to worksite safety. Earn as you learn as an apprentice. A solid career built on a solid legacy. For more info, go to carpenters.com.
Looking for a place to enjoy great food and great games? Head to Doc's Barbecue in Dyer. Indulge in Southern-style hickory smoked meats served in a fun, welcoming atmosphere. Want to catch the latest local Jet TV basketball games? Just ask and they'll have it on one of their 15 big-screen TVs. Whether you're here for the food, the fun, or the hoops, Doc's has something for everyone. Stop by Doc's Smokehouse on Calumet Avenue in Dyer, where flavor and sports come together.
For a fast and friendly car wash, go to Easy Clean Car Wash. Open 7 days a week in 4 convenient locations: Highland, Griffith, Cherville, and Lansing. Free vacuuming, air freshener, and a towel with every wash. It's fast, safe, and gentle. For more information and hours of all our locations, visit myeasyclean.com. Also, see how you can wash your car daily with our $10 Ultimate Wash for only $19.99 per month. Give your car the best clean at Easy Clean Car Wash.
Tell the folks where they can find the French Room.
Fridays, 3 to 5 Central.
And where can they listen?
On WJOB, AM 1230, 104.7 FM.
I believe those are the radio people.
Who the hell's that?
I have no idea. But you could listen worldwide on TuneIn.com or watch on JetTV.com.
Get your Jet TV. The Front Room.
With Marla Kubik.
Variety,
sometimes at its finest.
Dun 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 dun. All right. Pretty good, pretty neat. All right. Thanks a lot to you for being with us for 102 years. You look pretty good for your age. 294 around the city looks pretty good also. 80 going east and west looks good. To Bishop Ford into the Dan Ryan's lighter than normal. Skyway, Toll Road, Barman, I-65. Where is everybody? Oh, school's out. Cool. Colleges are out. That's a big factor right now. And as soon as they pick up on Monday, so will the traffic. Right now, if you want to get out and drive somewhere, go ahead. But understand this. It's pretty slick out. Right now, it's 41 at Labor's 41. And it is 43 degrees at the Strachan Van Til store in Highland and at the Central Midwest Carpenters along I-65. It's already 45 degrees, so a little bit warmer out to the east. Thanks a lot to Joseph Pete of the Times for doing an excellent article about us moving back to our roots here at the old studios underneath the tower here behind Smith Chevrolet. And I said in the article that I think Preacher's office, which we haven't touched in 14 years, is they're storing something in there. So if it feels like it's just a little, I mean, it's great to be home. And I stopped at Munster Donut where I hung out as a little kid, picked up a coffee, came over to work where I came as a little kid and where I was a disc jockey and a morning or a afternoon host in the mid 80s in 1984 and 85. So I'm so glad to be home, but we have tough stuff, man. And it is not easy being a police officer right now. A Lake County Sheriff's officer was hospitalized Wednesday evening and is expected to recover after being struck in a head-on collision during a pursuit in Gary. That's according to Lake County Sheriff Oscar Martinez Jr. 2 people in the suspect's vehicles were also hospitalized, Martinez said. The pursuit in question began sometime after 6 o'clock Wednesday, with suspect's vehicle heading northbound at a high rate of speed on Ralston Street. Vehicle reportedly struck the officer's vehicle head-on in the area of 9th Avenue. The officer is being treated for multiple cuts and other injuries and is expected to recover. The driver of the other vehicle was placed into custody and taken to an area hospital. Passenger in that other vehicle was extricated by fire personnel and also transported to the hospital. The investigation is ongoing. That's here locally. And nationally, it is nothing but the concentration on the shooting in Minneapolis, and it just keeps getting more contentious. And at the heart of it is that a mother of 3, 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, she'd recently moved to Minnesota. She was shot and killed by ICE agents yesterday. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem defended the ICE agent after he fatally shot Kristi in Minneapolis, saying she had tried to run over the officer. State and local officials dispute that. 3 videos of the shooting show nuance, and exactly what took place before the shooting remains unclear. Governor Tim Walz says he had been warning for weeks that ICE operations in his state were a threat to public safety. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry disputed the government's account and told agents to get the fire truck out of Minneapolis. President Donald Trump called the fatal shooting a vicious situation, saying Good appeared to run over the ICE agent. It's all over the map. You could go right now and get a cup of coffee at any of the local breakfast establishments and get people on both sides of the issue. Let's see where you stand. And leke and marahara here mara nyara pafa pipi kaka. Hey, you're on the air. What's up?
You sing badly.
I don't care. Do you care? Come on, you don't really care. You know a lot of people who sing badly. Perhaps you sing badly. What say you about what happened in Minneapolis?
I'm a good baritone choir singer. I was good enough that the Navy recruited me to sing in their glee club. We went all over the country. Representing the Navy air business. But in any case, I hope your audience listened very carefully to the former Army military policeman. Everything he said was absolutely on the money. Everything he said was correct. Unlike the words coming out of the mouths of corrupt, racist Democrat officials in Minnesota, like the governor and the mayor of Minneapolis. I mean, they don't get, given the corruption that's going on, billions of dollars stolen from the taxpayer, aided and abetted by Democrat officials like them, they don't get the right to choose what law enforcement authorities get to deal with them. There's plenty to, what they have, the mess they have created in Minneapolis is shocking. I mean, I have relatives that live in the Minneapolis-St. Paul area, and I've been going up there to visit them for over 20 years, and I saw the steady deterioration, an area that was, as big cities went, that were considered safe by Chicago and Gary standards. I saw the steady deterioration and what I saw going on there. And I warned my relatives, I said, you realize that you're seeing the deterioration, the ghettoization of your community, and you're going to see a lot more crime. And they just shook it. No, this is This is Minnesota. This is a Minnesota nice. We're never going to see any of that stuff. Well, things have clearly changed.
What's changed?
Well, it has gone from being a major metropolitan area that was considered, by American standards, quite safe. And the public arena safe. Not so much anymore. And because the Scandinavian immigrants to that area had a reputation for being very upstanding in terms of following the law and corruption and so forth. It wasn't like corrupt cities like Gary and Chicago and New York and LA and so forth. It was clean. That's what they thought. But
so when you came out of the Navy, do you feel that you would have been qualified with the training that you got in the military to be an ICE agent?
Being in the military is very different than being a policeman, because those ICE agents are policemen, but at the federal level, just like the Hammond policemen, okay? And then you have Indiana State Troopers, they're policemen, but the military people are not trained to be policemen, except in special cases where they have military policemen basically to deal with military, not the civilian population.
The reason I ask that
you're not
is
being trained to be a policeman.
Yeah, I mean, but a lot of military people are coming out.
The ICE agents dress in BDUs, what's called a BDU, battle dress uniform. The Democrats are pretending as if those guys are like military. They're not. They're policemen. That's what their training is. That's what they're hired to do. Now, many of them were former policemen, former military. That's not too surprising, but the training they're getting is very different than the training they got when they went into the military. Totally different.
Do you feel that shooting was justified of Christy Good, the mother of three?
From what I hear from the media, that woman tried to drive to hit that ICE agent, and the courts have ruled in situations like this before and made very clear that vehicle at least is as dangerous, if not more so, than a bullet. I mean, it's a 3,000-pound bullet coming at somebody, and as it turns out, that ICE agent was previously struck about 6 months ago and dragged by a Democrat rioter who tried to hit him. And they have every right to defend themselves against that 3,000-pound bullet.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, hold on. You know how to do that, right? So I just switched over, and Adriana just came in here. It smells so much better than like kind of mothballs that it smells in here already.
I gotta figure out.
All right. So can you take another call?
Yeah.
And
we don't have a call.
Yeah, we do. Right here, right there. Those are
this?
4 here. Hit talk there, and you're on the air. How are you?
Doing good, Jimmy. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. Talk to me. What's on your mind?
I think it's appropriate to quote the great Mon Henley. I'm going to shoot that bitch.
Okay.
Every police officer, Jimmy, every soldier has a right to stay safe. And as soon as there's a threat, and you talk about de-escalation, as that idiot caller you had right before Trucker Mike, who said, well, why don't we wait and see, what all the facts are? And then he goes, well, they should have de-escalated it, and they should have shot this woman. Okay, now which is it, sport? You want to wait, or you want to start barking out stupidity? Which, as a Democrat, he came in right on cue. You can't. That woman was out there all day. She was hassling them all day long. She's probably lucky it didn't happen earlier in the day. But I mean, you can't go jerking around with police officers because any threat that comes their way could end up killing them, and they have a right to defend themselves. I mean, I've listened to people in jail for things like armed robbery, murder, and they go, and these guys are professional career criminals. They go, when the cop says stop, that's it. Game over. They gave you your warning. Stop, because the result could end up in your death at your own will.
So,
Nothing
you're very clearly in that was a legitimate shooting of Christy Good.
Yeah, and you don't go around saying, Jimmy, that she got shot by law enforcement. No, she disregarded the police, threatened them, and then her ignorance was addressed.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought the important. Slow down. You made your point. I'm glad that you brought up the importance of language because, you use sometimes very inflammatory language. But in terms of the shooting of Christy Good, a 37-year-old mother of three, do you?
Yeah, who was ignoring all the orders from the police? Add that in. And she's a mother of anything.
Okay. Just let me get the question out. Do you agree with President Trump that she was a domestic terrorist? Justified or not justified, and I understand both sides of it. I do have trouble understanding in any way that she was a domestic terrorist, and I want you to explain. You said of course she was. You said of course she was a domestic terrorist. Well, explain why she was a domestic terrorist.
Okay, domestic because she is domiciled here in the United States. That's how the word domestic is defined. Terrorist. She is doing things to terrorize the law enforcement people of our country. Therefore, domestic terrorist.
Thank you. You got it. Bishop Knoll taught you well.
Bishop
Knoll taught you well.
Take it off. I don't want to see your hair back in the Cali days.
All right. So when you
washed it with stone and dirt.
All right, you're done. All right, she's gonna bring up another one. And this is kind of cool, but I don't know if I like it. Do you like it?
What?
This phone system.
I mean, it's fine, yeah.
I mean, you get to see who's
calling, yeah.
Yeah, all that. All right, go ahead. Let's take one more, and then we'll go to a break. Hey, you are on the air. How are you?
Hey, Jed, it's so here. What I don't get about this whole thing is, I'm just going to throw out a scenario to you. Say me, you, Mad Mac, and Walt driving around in a car. We see a Hammond cop with someone pulled over. We pull our vehicle in front of them, and we get out and start throwing water bottles and snowballs and just start pelting the living hell out of the guy. What do you think's going to happen to us?
You're going to get arrested, right? Sorry.
You're going to get arrested faster than you could say boo. Why aren't they just arresting those guys were getting the hell pelted out of them yesterday.
So not only, all right. So hold on a second.
Bring in more people and just start throwing these people in jail.
Well, I mean, obviously it was quite the ruckus in Minneapolis on, I think, between 33rd and 34th Street, if you know Minneapolis at all. And so, one, you think it was a justified shooting of Christy Good?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, and so you're saying that they should go even further and they should have started arresting people.
Well, no, the whole crowd. Yeah, they need to start arresting people. You can't do that.
Should they have been arresting people? Should they have been arresting people there?
Yeah.
So let's go even further.
We'd be thrown in jail in 2 seconds.
Okay, so not only was it was a justified shooting, they should have arrested others. What about we haven't talked about? It's kind of a weird thing in that there was a doctor standing there, and he's like, "Hey, I want to administer aid to this woman," and they wouldn't let him administer aid to her because they wanted one of their medics, and the woman bled out and died. Is that okay?
Well, I think that might be something lawful with like a crime scene, maybe. I think if you have a crime scene like that, they probably just don't want to let anybody going in there touching stuff. I'd say it's probably a lawful thing.
No, but how do you feel about it? I mean, literally, I saw the video that came out this morning at like 4 a.m, and I'm like, well, let's just let it play out and so forth until that last part where the woman was still alive, laying there and bleeding out, and ICE agents were standing around her with guns, not allowing the doctor to administer aid to her. Is that okay?
I didn't hear that one. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, it just came out. It just came out early this morning, and I was like, "Wow, this one just keeps getting weirder." And I mean, at the very least, in this, everybody's got their own opinion on it. We have to address that. If ICE shoots someone and there's a doctor there, the doctor should be able to administer aid, and who knows, it could have saved her. And this whole thing is obviously bad for everybody on both sides of this. But when I saw that video of the doctor's like, dude, I just want to run over there, and he's got his hands up, and he's like, hey, listen, my hands are here. I just want to run. I have taken the Hippocratic Oath. And then it becomes a doctor thing, like, all right, you're a doctor, you've taken the Hippocratic Oath, you will do no harm, and you will come to people's aid if they need it. So did the doctor do the right thing? Should the doctor have disregarded the ICE agent, probably gotten him shot? I mean, the whole thing is one of the ugliest situations I can ever think of. I mean...
Yeah, well, the whole thing up there is ugly, and I don't know if you watched any of those representatives from Minnesota yesterday testifying in front of them, that Congress, that committee. Tim Walz needs to be in handcuffs like yesterday.
And that has what to do with this? What does that have to do with this situation?
I'm just saying the whole thing up there in Minnesota. Some people need to be in jail bad. It's just outright thievery.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot. Hold on a second. All right. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
You can keep going until 7:30 because we have a show. So
7:19. We got our behind. What's the first spot that's played there? That's up there.
The one that's highlighted in blue is
Hard Rock. Nope.
Oh,
we're going to Hard Rock. So can you double click on Hard Rock? Yes. Double click on that. We're still learning a new system. And I got to tell you, where are you going to go on Friday or Saturday night, huh? What do you got going on in your world? Why don't you go to Hard Rock Casino? We'll be right back on the voice and face of the region.
Want to live life at max volume? Then look no further than Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana. With over 1,700 slots, 80 table games, live entertainment, and 5 restaurants which span a wide range of culinary genres, we are sure to have something for everyone. Whether you want to indulge in a savory dish at Council Oaks Steaks and Seafood or take in dinner and live music at the the world-renowned Hard Rock Cafe. Amplify your entertainment experience at Hard Rock Casino, Northern Indiana, just off Exit 6, I-8094. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-9-WITH.
If you're thinking of finishing your basement, installing outdoor security cameras, or your business has plans to break ground on a new project in 2024, Powering Indiana, Lake County is your source for the region's best electricians. With IBEW, local 697 electricians, you're choosing the highest level of safety and reliability. Visit poweringIndiana.org today and ensure your project is in the hands of skilled professionals.
Have you ever considered becoming an iron worker? Local 395 is now accepting applications for their apprenticeship program. Go to ironworkers395.com. Look under the training section, click on apprenticeship, and scroll down to the application. You must be 18 years old, have a high school diploma or GED, and you must be physically able to perform the work of the trade. Find out more by calling the apprenticeship school in Lake Station at 219-962-7675 or visit ironworkers395.com.
I think that means the ads are done. Good morning, everyone. Jim's currently letting in, I believe, North Township trustees, so they are next up on our programming. But we're going to do a quick traffic and weather update. There's so much equipment. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 mouses here, so I keep going at the wrong one. But let's take a look at our weather for today. Currently right now here at the Strack and Van Til Studios, it is 44 degrees. Today we're seeing highs of 58 and lows of 41. A thick cloud covering over the area today, turning breezy this afternoon with periods of rain. And tonight you're going to see some occasional rain with windy conditions. Gusts of wind can accompany any downpour with that low of 41 degrees. Take a look into the rest of the weekend. Friday, highs of 50 degrees, lows of 32, a little morning rain and cloudy, and some more cloudy weather with showers around in the late evening. Then on Saturday, highs of 38 degrees, lows of 23, rain and then snow later with some colder weather, cloudy and breezy in the late area. Let me turn on your mic while you do that. And you were telling me before we went on break to read one of my favorite YouTube comments, and that was from Paul Goddard, and he was like, it's right up here, why is the thermostat placed right there? That's a question I do have for you. Why is it right there?
I don't know. We're obviously, you know what? Adrian Santos actually gave us some really good input about that brand new studio. Did you see it out there?
I saw a little bit of it, yes.
Yeah, I didn't really get to look at it, but we're putting the cameras in here in a few hours, and we need to know where to station them. But Adrian Santos is joining us. How you doing? They're all messed up. Turn them all on. So it's a tough morning.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Doesn't it seem like it's been tough mornings every other day in America? If we ain't seizing an oil ship, you got a young lady that's shot, and I know the public is going to, they're going to have their trial and jury before the trial and jury, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's just, it's the time we live in, so.
I'm kind of shocked this morning. It took me a long time to get to this topic, and you can hear in people's voices the pain. Now, one thing I do want to mention to you, what do you have against the East Chicago Roosevelt Rough Riders?
Absolutely nothing. I live 4 blocks from there.
Yeah, but what do you have against a purple hat?
Because when I looked at you wearing it.
I got it from a Rough Rider.
Oh, there you go. I mean, maybe brings you a little reminiscence about when they used to beat you up back in the high school days when you used to get,
Jesus.
Coming into Frogville, and when you cross the street, the Roxanians over there, they would get you, and then they tune you up, and you never made it to the north side. We understand. But
let's take one phone call, and then they got their show, and they pay us, so I guess we got to let them do it.
Yeah, and the thermostat is very odd. It's very odd.
Why is that there?
I don't know.
Move this to this wall. The thermostat can stay.
No, the thermostat can be moved. I put it there.
Just be careful because you got a wedge holding some part up there, and if you move it, that wedge is going to fall off.
Yeah, exactly. It's holding the. I put that there.
And the rainwater is going to come in, and then that's why we can't be on the air because of the rain.
Yeah, in all honesty, though, as I was driving here, and I always tune you in as I'm headed this way, and you cut off. I was listening. And
Oh,
then I
that
heard-
was on me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
Blame on the
this-
equipment. The equipment. It's the equipment. Remember, it's how he set everything up yet. It's not fully set up yet, but
Well, yeah,
it is
because
coming
you move
along.
one
It is
little
coming
thing
along.
and something
Hello.
unplugs. We do have a caller.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you're on the air. What are you doing?
Yeah, what's up, Jimmy? This is Rick.
Rick, how are you? Make some sense of what happened in Minneapolis, will you?
Anarchists, you know, I mean, they ought to get a hold of George Soros and start prosecuting him for funding all this stuff, because those people aren't doing it just to do it. They're getting paid for it. And, you know, they're just trying to create crazy.
What do you mean they're
You know,
getting? What do you
that
mean
woman-
they're getting paid for it?
George Soros is behind a lot of this stuff. You think them people are out there demonstrating like they were in Chicago for nothing? Half them people don't even know what they're demonstrating about. Oh, but they're getting paid. You know, I mean, this is insane. This is the left, the very far left, going against our country and what we're trying to create. You know, a little get rid of some people that don't belong here. And Biden knew that when Biden and the Democratic Party knew that this was going to happen. You just put 20 million people out, you know, and just let them do whatever they want. Half, 3/4 of them, they don't even know who they are. What do they think they were going to create?
How do you feel this morning, Rick?
I'm feeling okay. One thing I was going to ask you though. One thing. I'm sitting out here and I'm looking through the woods and everything, and I see that bright sun. I think that's what you're going to miss from the old studio, ain't it?
Gosh,
Sunshine, yes.
and it's odd. Dave from Crown Point sent me a picture of the sunrise. He almost did it out of spite, I think. But I agree. We're going to miss the sun coming up over Planned Parenthood. Hey, Rick, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate the call. All right, so I just want to hit one local thing.
Okay.
Did you know, you probably did because you're you, that Dave Ham wasn't going to run for Lake County Council?
Absolutely did not know.
Isn't that kind of weird?
Found out, I don't want to say I found out the night before, I believe. I did kind of get some rumbles that was going to happen. But, you know, hey, you know, in the political world, that's what happens. You know, people are in, people are out. You know, yesterday was the opening day of filing. And by all means, we can speak about that now because we are not on township pay time. I just want to make that clear.
Nope, you are not.
Yeah, so thank you.
Why,
So-
was she texting you not to talk about things? Because
no, she was not.
All right,
but
good.
here, yesterday was opening filing date for those folks that are coming in, and you're going to see a lot of people, you know, in and out. I think you saw a lot of the incumbents filing yesterday. As you know, the days go on, you'll see a lot more that just didn't want to deal with the hassle of going on the first day. But yeah, it's that time of the year, as I tell folks, as being a politician for a very long time, it's that time of the year, and you'll see names up, you'll see names down, you'll see, you know, maybe 4 Santos, you 4 different Santoses up there, although there are a lot of Adrian Santos, but yeah, I don't believe any of my cousins are going to run against me, but you know, it's out there, and it's that time of year, and we'll just wait for these 30-something odd days to come to an end, and then we'll know who are the real players in the game.
Do you know Scott Miller?
Yes, I do. I know him very well.
So if you guys are following the story, Dave Ham, been the
very good friend of mine's also too, and Dave done a great job. And you know what? Kudos to Dave if that's what he wants to do. You know, I always tell folks in this career, because a lot of people look at us politicians and say, man, you guys want to die in your seat. Listen, I don't want to die in my seat. I do want to retire one day with my wife and just enjoy life, because the stress of being a politician, I mean, for instance, what happened yesterday? I mean, you know, I'm a Democrat, you know, and a lot of people are saying, oh, Democrats are out there doing this. Listen, I'm not out there doing this. I know, just mentioned that, you know, some of these people are paid. I can tell you that they're not. They come every weekend to Wicker Park and they stand on the corner and they're protesting, you know. So, you know, yeah, there may be a little bit of this. I don't have any evidence of that's what happened yesterday. I just don't have that. But I'm just saying that, you know, there are people out there protesting for what's happening in America now. You know, today, what's going on in America today, people are protesting and they're upset on both sides, you know. So, Is there, I've heard rumors that, on the Republican side that they were paying people to come out to other demonstrations. So it's just, and when you go out there on a weekend, you see them, they stand on the corner of Indianapolis Boulevard on both sides and they're out there protesting for what they believe is right. That's why when you wake up in America, you think, man, what's going on? I've never saw anything like this before. I haven't, not in my political career and not in my time, or they were protesting out where I can physically see. I know I've saw documentaries of things going on in the world, and in D.C. people protest, but nothing like here at home, right in your backyard on the corner of Ridge Road and Indianapolis Boulevard. I mean, if you have, please. I mean,
what do you mean you've never seen anything like this?
The amount of people that would come together and protest, whatever it may be. I've never seen anything like that here. And I take that back. In East Chicago, I did see it one time, and that was when there was the CDF site, where people came together, the community came together. The site's still there, need I say? But a bunch of folks came together because they knew it wasn't good for the community, it wasn't good next to a school. I mean, and just all the stuff that kind of facilities brings to the community.
I know this isn't really in your purview, but you've brought it up that you've never seen this. What do you think is happening with people you're a local politician, North Township trustee. He's not talking about the trustee. He's talking about can I say it? As a Puerto Rican from East Chicago, I think I could say that, right?
You've called me that many, many times before.
Oh, so you've called me worse.
I mean, you're wearing a purple hat today. That threw me off. But
all right, good enough. But, I mean, so you got your hand on the pulse and you talk to a zillion people every day. You listen to me every day. You hear the callers and so forth.
I hear them
I mean,
on both
what's
sides.
really happening?
It's here, if I had to guess, back then to today, social media, you can instantly, get somebody's opinion on what's going on out there. The fact that this young lady was shot yesterday, there has not been a true investigation where somebody comes out and says, this is why she was there. This is why she was either following him or not following him. I've heard stories she lived in the area. Whether she lived in the area, she lived in a block, I don't know. But that's why there's always an investigation before there's actually somebody out there saying stuff and convicting people. Because social media, you pick up this thing and somebody's taking a video or something, and people formulate their own opinions when they're watching something. Doesn't necessarily mean that what they are saying is right, but when somebody gets up to a podium and says, well, X, Y, and Z, but then when you watch the video, you're like, wow, that is not what happened. Just listening to the media, I was like, oh, wow, I formulated an opinion already, not watching or seeing any evidence. And when the evidence then comes out, some people form a different opinion. So I think, the temperature in America, calm down, let this thing be investigated. Let those folks that handle these investigations come out and tell the world what happened.
That's my question to you. The local politician, the local elected leader, the local media guy, I guess, too, local student. I mean, here we are living in the middle of America, and you brought up the temperature in America. That's what I want to know, what you think the temperature in the region is.
The fact that we are talking about the temperature in America on WJOB at 7:33 in the morning speaks for itself. I mean, honestly, we're not talking about the Bears, which is going to be a very big game this weekend. We're talking about the temperature in America. I mean, so it speaks for itself. So, yes, is it at a very high level? Absolutely. Now, what is attributing to all these, these levels so high? I mean, what happened yesterday? What's happening in America? That's why people are just on the edge of their seats. And then there's some folks that I know out there as a politician that don't give a damn one way or another. They don't. They just, they're fed up with it. They just want to live their lives and enjoy Saturday's football game. It just, I've never seen, I've been a politician since, 03 when I got first elected to the city council, but I've never seen the temperature so hot, man. And it are things like what happened yesterday and the protest. Here, have you ever thought anybody was going to storm the Capitol? I never would have thought anybody would be bold enough to go in the Capitol, storm, bust the window, get in there and talk about they're going to hang some people. Now, I get it. Some people said it was a peaceful protest, and I get it that others say it was very hostile. But you can't change the fact that there was a lot of video. There was a lot of video evidence for us to see and us to formulate our own opinion on what happened that day. So with everything that's going on in the world, I mean, I've never seen anybody storm the Capitol, let's bust the window and go in the Capitol. And, I was just reminiscence from yesterday. I was watching all these old videos, and I'm like, wow. I mean, man, I forgot a lot of that stuff happened because we move on with our lives, and we try to, block the bad things out. And it was a bad day when they stormed the Capitol. I mean, there's evidence. Several people died. I don't know how people can think it was a peaceful protest when people died that day. So, whether they were on one side or another, it just, I never seen this, and it's the times we live in, I guess,
Hey guys, I have not talked about this yet because it's not an easy thing to talk about, but many of you out there have kind of wondered why I haven't mentioned it yet, but my uncle Dwayne Dedelow Sr. died over the weekend, and he was a kind of a big figure in my life, and my dad and his brother married an aunt and a cousin, and then there was 14 of us running around as one group for many, many years, and he died, and his service is going to be on January 19th. But tomorrow morning, the former mayor of Hammond, Dwayne Dedelow Jr., is going to come in with me at 6:30, and then maybe it'll be a little easier for me to talk about. But we're going to talk about his dad and my uncle and, some of the history there. Dwayne, of course, is a deacon in the Catholic Church right now, so I only get him for like 25 minutes, and he's got to go administer his services around the Calumet region. But I know a few of you asked why I haven't talked about it yet. I said, hey, you know what? There's enough going on. I just can't really go there right now. But I will tomorrow. And I will also get Dwayne's. I know many of you like to hear what Dwayne has to say as a man of God and as a former mayor of Hammond. And we'll see what he has to say. I imagine he'll address the temperature, but that's about it. But we're going to talk about my
my deepest condolences to you.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. It's a big. The coolest thing about my uncle dying is that 13 of the kids are still alive. No, wait. So he had 11, we had 5. So 16. There were 16 of us. There's only one that died, and it was the very youngest. Luke Dedelow died a number of years ago of cancer. And so I will be able to see my 15 brothers and sisters and cousins, and we're all related from 3 sides. So it's kind of a weird thing, but I'm going to see them all, and that'll be the best part of that.
And, that's what I was getting ready to say. Can I give you a word of advice? Man, go enjoy your family. I know that, going to funeral, I try to tell folks this because in the township we deal with a lot of folks coming in with death. You're going to get ready to go bury a loved one, but just take in the fact that you're going to see a lot of family members that you probably haven't seen in a while because, we live our everyday lives and we're extremely busy, but just love who you're going to go see tomorrow. Love everyone. I know it's hard to put smiles on their face, but talk about good stories. I'm sure your uncle would have wanted you guys to talk about, hey, all the fun things you did when you beat him in basketball, or he beat you in basketball, or any of that, but talk about those things and love your family and your cousins and just embrace the love and know that you lost somebody.
So am I allowed?
You're going to ask me, I'm going to say yes, especially if it's going to be a funny thing. I'm going to be like, absolutely.
All right, so here's the thing. So did you know that my cousin used to be the mayor of Hammond? Okay.
Wow.
Did you know that? I'm
this?
surprised at that.
Not? Why wouldn't she know? She works for a dealer.
Well, anyways. So he used to be.
I was going to say, I don't remember, when I was little, but because the only person that I've known, once you recollect, okay, this is politics, is the mayor we currently have right now. Also, I just want to let you guys know, it's up to you guys. We do not have a show later, so it's up to you guys if you guys want to say. I don't know if you guys have a schedule to go.
Nikki's got a meeting, I know that. We both have a meeting. She was going to start, and I was going to come in at the end, but we're good. We're good.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Keep talking.
So I need to ask your opinion on this. So I won't do it tomorrow, but my cousin was a very respected mayor of Hammond, okay, and a respected guy in the community. And then he left politics, and for 6 years he actually studied here for his diaconate, which is right below a priest. He can give out communion and all that, and he serves as basically all the duties of a priest.
Yeah.
But all I can think of is what a hooligan and what a rough character he was growing up. And, he's like 3-4 years older than I am, and he hung out with some of the roughest dudes in the region. And and people always come up to me like, oh my gosh, your cousin's a saint and this and that. And I'm like, this is the same guy who his buddies and him would beat the crap out of me and all my friends, and then they would get in all this trouble. And I'm like, it's like forgotten, and it's forgotten.
Here, so my suggestion is treat your cousin the same way you would have 20 years, 30 years ago.
Oh God, then it would.
Should he's going to embrace that and be like, man, take it back. When we didn't wake up in America and think about everything, or talk about these things. Go back to them days where he wailed on you and you wailed on him and you play kick the can or something. That's what I said. When you're going to be with your family this weekend, man, talk about those times like you're doing it.
It's the same feeling as like when you find out somebody's getting married. It's like, why are you marrying them?
Yeah.
Why? Because know all the stuff.
You want to know how this is going to go down? So,
but here, when we started talking about that, what you were going to do, the biggest smile came on your face. I noticed that.
Oh, I'm going to see 15 Dedelows that we all grew up and just
take that same spirit, man. So, take the same spirit with
amongst other relatives and so forth. But, there's one other thing that I have to address. So, it's the mid-1980s, and I meet Alexis, a Mexican woman from Little Calumet.
Thanks for clearing that up.
Yeah, she grew up.
Thank you.
I want to make sure that you don't think she's from East Chicago. She's from Little Calumet, which is not East Chicago. I don't know what that is.
It's like greasers and socias
it's
and
his
all
own,
that.
North side, south side,
what is this?
Harbor, EC. EC is EC. Harbor is Harbor. Roxana is Roxana. I mean, Frogsville is Frogsville. I mean, it's like any other community.
No, Little Calumet is different, and it always has been.
It's
even
East Chicago,
still,
man.
It's
That's
just weird.
EC.
But anyway, she goes up in Little Calumet, right? And so I meet her, and I start, kind of.
It wasn't in Little Calumet you met her.
No,
you had to be somewhere.
She was the bartender at Edo's, right?
Okay.
But so my cousin was a bartender with her, Dr. Doug Dedelow, who's delivered like the most babies ever in the region or something like that. And then my other cousin, Doreen Dedelow, was like one of her best friends. And then my cousin David. All these Dedelows are friends with Alexis. And we go out a couple times, and she comes to every one of my relatives that she knows. And she's like, hey, I just want to let you know, I've been seeing your cousin. And every one of my relatives were like, whoa, man, I'm not so sure that's a good idea. I had to be on best behavior with my wife because I had to prove to her that my own cousin's perceptions of me, I could be a good man and a good boyfriend and eventually a dad and a grandpa and stuff. But she's like, what kind of guy am I dating that his own cousins are like, ooh, I don't know if that's such a good idea.
Well, might I say you have a very, very, very beautiful wife. And maybe your cousin's like, man, don't marry that yahoo.
That's exactly what they were saying.
I think it was all in fun.
I hope so.
I believe it was all.
I'm going to address that.
Listen, you're married to a beautiful woman. You married her, and she married you. So evidently, it was all in. It's like me when I brought my wife around. Man, you're my cousin, man, girl, and then like kind of doing the checking her out, and I'm like, yeah, that's my wife, or back then that's my girl. Yeah, that's my girl. But it's all in fun. All in family fun, trying to poke at you. Oh, here, Are you the smallest of the family, meaning in terms of height? Because I know you're not that very tall. And those that know, no. So how, are you?
They're all tall.
Okay, well, there you go. They always got to pick on someone. And it's like, pick on the shorter dealer, man. Don't pick on the deacon or, the mayor who became the mayor. And, I was elected in 2003, and I think that's when he was McDermott was coming on, and I was coming on for the first time in our political careers, and he became the mayor, and Dwayne was the mayor. So I do know Dwayne very, very well. But yeah, I picked on you because your size, man. I mean, he saw the
so here's how this goes. So they're sitting behind the bar at Edo's, right? Edo Sinisic, if you guys remember this. And Alexis just tells me it was a moment in her life where she had to really question, because
she probably ID'd you.
She's
like,
sitting
you got
there.
an ID.
She's
So
sitting.
the library looks up his criminal record.
Right.
Oh, in a heartbeat. She was working for Judge Krajewski.
Oh,
She
yeah,
goes,
they do.
I already looked you up. You got 3 arrests. What'd you get arrested in Wisconsin for? But anyways, so she's sitting there.
Smart EC girl.
Doug's getting ready to go to med school, or is in med school. So, but they're bartending together. And finally, someone comes in and says, it says something about her having seen her with me. And Doug's like, and Alexis says to him, well, I was going to tell you, but, I've been seeing your cousin. And my cousin Doug, the well-respected doctor, takes it and goes, she does it so well. She goes, and he's a really level-headed guy, but he just couldn't contain himself to show the doubt about caring for her, that she should get involved with me.
At that point, did you go to all your cousins? You're like, what is wrong with you guys?
Yeah. Or what is wrong with me?
Yeah.
No,
What are you
tell me,
doing
what am I
here?
doing wrong with you guys? Every time I introduce you to somebody, like, because I couldn't do a layup, or couldn't dunk in basketball. But what's the cringe when they say my
reminds
name?
me when people ask about my friends. I'm like, no, they're great, and they're
then you
like,
turn around, you're like,
and I'm just like, okay, I told you that they were great. Now don't mess this up. Don't make me out to be a liar.
right, yeah. So don't. I hear.
Well, most of it, Alexis didn't tell me till way later. I mean, she told me one, but then there were a number of cousins who did that.
Had there been any concern, I'm sure she would have told you up front. I believe that it was all in fun and game to kind of give you the short deal of the family member, like we always do, kick him around a couple of times and then bring him in the circle. Act like he's not going to play with us, and then be like, come on, we were only messing with you. They're only messing with you.
Can't believe I'm asking an East Chicago guy for advice.
However many years later.
Especially an East Chicago politician guy.
I know exactly what. He was wearing no cologne. and everybody smelled everybody smelled the BO on him, and they're like, man, you need to get with East Chicago people. You got to get you some nice cologne, a nice fragrance on you, and then your cousins were like, oh yeah, he's a great guy. Did you smell him? Did you smell him? He smells good.
So it's odd that you mentioned that, because when we first started, Alexis almost didn't date me because my sweaters were too tight. Evidently in EC, people
and they're all wool.
They were all wool.
They're all wool sweaters, right?
Hey, we got to
sure.
go, man. I'll have Dwayne on tomorrow, and we will hit a pretty tough topic. Not that today wasn't a tough topic, so I'm gonna get out of here, out of the.
But before we hang this up, and we were talking about those kind of things that are going on in America today, folks, just love your neighbor. If you're out there, be kind. It doesn't cost anything to be kind to folks in the store or when you're walking. Just be kind. Whatever happened yesterday is going to be investigated a million times by just the general public. But let the people that do their jobs do their job and come out with a report on what happened, so that hopefully the temperature comes down a little bit. But whether wrong or right, let the people do their job.
Here's a kind comment. Did your hair get that gray in like 1 week? What happened? Did you guys notice that? He looks like a different person in like
50. I'm 50 now, man. I'm pushing 50.
Hey.
I get a lot of these AARP mails now and all kind of stuff like that. I'm like, hey, before when I was a kid, I get them. I see my parents. They're all right.
This year, are you turning 50?
I am 50. I'll be 51 in March.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, we got another host. He was like, yeah, it's the 50th. We're like, we got to throw you a party or something.
Oh, look at that.
So
March 21st. March 21st.
March 21st.
Love a party. Love a party.
We'll have some balloons.
Hey, I can't get off the air because this person of Puerto Rican descent from East Chicago can't be quiet so I can close off, man.
Listen, I am keeping the roof on this place because the swoop there is barely hanging on.
Also, you should know.
Should I move this?
Yes, you should. But you married into a Mexican family. You should know that when we say goodbye, it takes a long time to say goodbye.
No, here's what happens. If you go to one of these Mexican get-togethers, so you get there and you got all the older people. If you don't walk up to them and give them the proper greeting, and I always tell Alexis that a lot of them listen, so everyone in this entire room is going to get 3 minutes. So she's like, you have to go to this person, you have to go to this person. You remember Ray Garcia Sr. over here at El Taco Real? I went somewhere once and I didn't walk up to him. And he held it against me for years that I walked in and did not show him the proper respect.
Our parents always taught us in the Latin community that when you walk in a room, you always acknowledge your elders. And there was a word that we always said when we walked in a room and we were acknowledging our elders, and it was bendición in the Puerto Rican community. That means blessings. You were asking the elder for blessings from that elder for the day. So when I walked in my grandmother's house, the first words that came out of my mouth all the time, never. And if I didn't, boy, either an aunt or an uncle or my mother would look at me and be like, what is wrong with you? But you always say bendición, and you give your grandmother a hug and kiss, and you always did it to your aunt, and you always did it to your uncle. That's what you do. That was when we were brought up the right way. You know, it's unfortunate that nowadays that we have to reteach our kids. Like I tell my kids, when you walk in a room and you see grandma and you see your uncle, the first thing you do, you respect, you go give them a hug and you say blessings, bendición. You always do that, and it seems like we've far so.
No, here's the strategy. You go to one of these things, and we get there, and I have to go around to everybody, and when the kids were little, we'd have to show the kids, and everybody gets it. And then as soon as we're done with that, I say, the Bears are playing at 3. I'm not staying here forever. Let's start it again. So as soon as you've said hello to everybody,
you got to say goodbye.
You got to start going counterclockwise and say goodbye to everybody, and then that's the whole get-together, right?
Did you say at the end, you say, bendición a todo, meaning blessings to you all. I'm going to watch the Bears. I'm going to actually do that this weekend. I have an event that I have to go to, and those that know me and kind of follow me on social media, my friends and family, know that I'm a heavy, big time Bears fan. So I had every intention of probably even going to the game, and then I said, no, I had this event that I have to go to. So, and the event starts an hour before the game, so I'm gonna get there like I am not, because all I'm saying is I will be there. I'm going to smile. You'll see, I'll be at an event this weekend, but as soon as the Bears game starts, I'm sure I'm skedaddling and I'm going to go home. Because everybody's like, well, why don't you go to a club, or why don't you go to, a bar and, a sports bar and watch the game? I said, do you know how it is to watch a game at a sports bar? Everybody's talking. They turn down the volume at some places. Some places they had the volume up, and then some places they have the game here and different games on all. I want to go home. Or I want to sit and listen to the commentators, and I want to watch the game. I don't want to go there and hear everybody smoking cigarettes and all that, and cling and clang. I just want to go home and enjoy the game. So that's exactly what I have intentions of doing.
Hey, it's going to be a little bit late today, but the North Township Trustee Show is up next.
We're going to zoom through this. Don't worry. We're going to zoom through this so that we can get you back on to get in here and start fixing up take the little wedgie out of the
I thought that was out of the way, and now it's in there. Not. All right. Well, Goddard's right. I hate to say that.
You said, I don't know who put that there, and you're like, yeah, I put that there. Why'd you put it there?
Right. I don't know. Hey, listen, they're going to have their show. Adriana, I'm not going to come back. Okay. I'm going to go
we have Mastering Local Marketing,
I got to leave, and I'll be back for that. Yep. So if you could, after their show, just play music and talk to people and stuff, and then I'll be back around.
So basically, just do what you do every day. Run the place.
Yeah. I'll be back at 9:05 for a podcast, Mastering Local Marketing. Then I believe I have Limwalk. There's 2 of those.
You do not have Limwalkers, no.
Do I have Weezer?
You do not have Weezer. Yeah, Weezer on Tuesday.
All right. So I have, I just have 2 podcasts today, and that's a good thing. All right, guys, until I see you at 9:05, you are listening and watching the voice and face of the region. Do you like to work with your hands, creating something from nothing? Then think about Laborers Local 41. You'll get 432 hours of apprenticeship training, all while earning a wage with benefits and incurring no student debt. You'll travel to different job sites, learn tons of skills, and in a lot of cases, be the first one on and the last one off a job site. It all starts at Laborers 41.